Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Crow Canyon's webinar on using Microsoft Teams and Office 365 to replace InfoPath and other legacy tools. We're going to jump right into it. There's a lot of material to cover, and people will be joining as they do, and we'll just continue. I think they'll be able to follow along, and we'll get into using Microsoft Teams, Office 365, and how we can replace InfoPath and other legacy tools like Access Forms or Lotus Notes with modern solutions. Now, just a couple things before we get going. One is that there is a questions box in the GoToWebinar control panel. You can enter in questions there during the webinar. We have James on board to help answer those questions. And if we don't get to them during the webinar, we'll get to them after by email. Of course, you're welcome to always email us any questions anytime or give us a call. We're glad to talk to you one-on-one about any kind of concerns or issues or questions you might have. Also, people ask this sometimes, will there be a recording? Yes, there will be a recording of this webinar available, and we'll send out the link within a day or so of the end of the webinar, so maybe tomorrow or at the latest Monday, so everybody can get a link. And usually we post it up onto the website also. So let me introduce myself. I am Scott Restivo, President and CEO of the Crow Canyon Software Company. We've been around 22 years. We are based in California. We have an office in Rhode Island, and also we have a team in India that helps us out also. So we are a Microsoft preferred partner in the business applications, Microsoft 365. We are California's certified small business. We are on the GSA of the federal government with a contract in Schedule 70. So we're quite well established in many ways. We work, of course, with the government, but we also work with many private industries, nonprofits, education, and really across the whole spectrum and across the world. We do a lot of customers all over in many different countries. We provide business applications that run on Microsoft Office 365, Microsoft Teams, and SharePoint. We also have our Nitro Studio Forms and Workflow creation platform, the application creation platform. Really great tool. A lot of people using it to build solutions for their companies. And we have the chatbots and apps for MS Teams, Microsoft Teams, that are really up and coming, and that's what our focus will be more or less on this webinar, will be that aspect of our business and how those, both Nitro Studio Forms and Workflows, the chatbots, and the applications also can be used to replace InfoPath Forms with new solutions that are creative and innovative. So what we have out of the box for our business applications, we have the IT help desk and asset management, very popular. People use those often in conjunction with each other, so they manage their assets and their help desk tied together. We have a customer service application. We have a facilities and work order application that ties into equipment tracking. People track the equipment and maintenance and repairs on it and issue work orders. We have HR requests for people who want benefit changes and those kind of things. Security access requests or database access, those kind of requests that even could be to physical, like a building, whatever kind of access gets it managed. A lot of times that falls onto the IT help desk world, part of that world. We can do onboarding, contract renewals, document management, marketing tasks, and purchase requests. So we have a whole set of applications, and I want to point out that they run in Microsoft 365, Teams, and SharePoint, including SharePoint on premises. Now, I imagine most of the people in this webinar are not on SharePoint on premises because the focus is on Teams. But just to put a side note there, that all our applications and our Nitro Studio run in SharePoint 2013, 2016, 2019, and will be in the new subscription edition that comes out for on-premises. Of course, it works in the Office. They all work in Office 365, in the commercial cloud, the GCC, the government cloud, and also the GCC High for your defense contractors and the military end of things. The same with our Nitro Studio runs in all those platforms. In fact, our applications are powered by our Nitro Studio. This Nitro Studio gives people who want to build applications or modify applications that are already built with the Forms Designer, Visual Workflow Manager, custom actions, portals, reports, dashboards, omni-channel support, email, texting, integration with outside databases, integration with MS Teams, integration with line of business. So it's really a full-fledged solution for building applications and replacing InfoPath and other legacy solutions. So what also is included in Nitro Studio, this is in the Office 365 version, are our bots. And we'll go into that more in depth in this webinar, and you'll see some of that in action. So just to give you kind of an image, the Nitro Studio links together SharePoint Teams into a full-fledged solution platform for your organization. It could be, if you don't have legacy forms and solutions to replace, you can still just build new ones with it. But if you are in the situation of having to move off of InfoPath or other such solutions, this is a prime candidate for your consideration to do it. And a lot of people have done it. We've been doing it. Canyon's been doing it for many years, 3 or 4 years now, doing successfully, helping organizations replace InfoPath. So we're going to go into bots in a moment, but I want to give a very brief history. I don't even call it a history, but maybe an overview of InfoPath and show why it's important to get off it. So I'll go through this quickly, and then we'll get into the Nitro bots and the use of Teams. As you all know, most of you may know already, I should say, InfoPath support has ended for 2010, and for the InfoPath 2013, the mainstream support ended July. Extended support has a few more years to go, but basically it's at the end of life. Microsoft depreciated it. It was built way back. If you look at this timeline, it's kind of fun to look at, because you look at, InfoPath first came out before, this is really always surprises me, before the iPhone, before the cloud services like Azure and Amazon Web Services, and way before Office 365. So, some old technologies can be, adapted for the new world, but InfoPath couldn't. And so Microsoft decided in 2013 to stop development of it. You probably know the story. They deprecated it in 2013. This is almost 4 years ago now. Microsoft is saying it's time to think about migrating, get off it, move on. They're not adding any new features. I don't think anybody here has to be convinced as to why it's time to move off InfoPath. Mostly, it's not mobile friendly. It's limited capability with modern browsers like Edge, and all the changes and updates to Chrome and everything else. It just didn't keep up with it. There's been many changes in browser technology since then. It uses sort of what we call outdated technology. It's no longer developed. It's difficulty connecting to data sources which have grown beyond what was available in 2013. So it's old school. And even if it wasn't being phased out, you'd want to move off it to take advantage of all these technologies out there that are now available and really can enhance your business. So I give a whole spiel on this InfoPath replacement in other webinars I've done, best practices and tools for moving off of InfoPath and that kind of thing. And if you're interested in that, there's some on-demand webinars on our website. We also have a whole set of resources on InfoPath replacement. I'll bring over our website right here. This is the InfoPath replacement solutions section. And there's a whole section of information here, and videos and ebooks, and really long set of tools, case studies, et cetera, that we've done. Because we've been doing this for, like I said, for quite a number of years now, and have a lot of experience. But what's interesting now is that, my talks on this have changed a little, because first it was like, let's just replace InfoPath. But when you think about it, especially since Teams came out, with the year and a half or almost 2 years ago, Teams came with, COVID and everybody going into remote work, more or less, Teams really took off. And now there came a chance to say, well, we're upgrading solutions in InfoPath or something with modern technology. So instead of just going like form the form, here's a form in InfoPath, let's replicate it over here. And it's time to start to think about in terms of what can be done with the modern technologies that are now available. You have mobile options that weren't available back then when InfoPath was being created. There's modern UI in SharePoint Office 365. There's more evolved in database integrations. There's portals you can use and AI services, and we'll go into some of that today, and the Teams integration. So the message that we're conveying now to our customers and people interested in InfoPath or any legacy form solution replacement is to think in terms of solutions and not in terms of just replacing forms. It's not blindly replicate the forms, but really it's to rethink of how these solutions can be manifested in this new environment. And I think for me, Teams is kind of a game changer in some ways, in that and I'll try and explain some of that in the webinar, but it's something that it's not just forms to form. I mean, all our applications and run, in the SharePoint sites. So the SharePoint sites, they have all the functionality and capabilities, the list, the libraries, the permissioning, the views, all the power of SharePoint behind it. And you could work inside of SharePoint just fine. You could develop a form. We have our Nitro Forms designer, very powerful, create really nice forms that look and act very, very dynamic, very powerful forms, pull in a lot of information and all the full capabilities. And we did that as we developed the Nitro Forms designer over the last 5 or 6 years, and we got feedback from InfoPath users. We incorporated as much as we could of the InfoPath capabilities into Nitro Form Designer, plus added a lot more of our own to make it a real full-fledged solution, as well as our workflow designer that we put into it also. So you could use our SharePoint applications, use our Nitro Studio and build your own, or our out-of-the-box applications, and replace the InfoPath solutions, InfoPath previous solutions with those. That's okay, that works, it's just fine. But you also can start to think, now that Teams is out, maybe there's another way to do things that is more engaging, and that's where our bots come into play, and using some of the capabilities of Teams, like channels and Teams and channels, and the chat and everything else that comes with Teams, as a way to provide a solution that goes beyond just what you can do simply inside of a SharePoint application. So Microsoft's push is really to make the Teams sort of the interface that is engaging with the application. So you kind of have the application as your core set of information, your data repository, the place where the workflows run, the place where the administration takes place, but the Teams environment is where the interactivity with the user takes place, and it really puts a new kind of paradigm, you might say, in place of how users engage with the application. So that's what we want to do more as we talk with our customers about InfoPath replacement or any legacy replacement or new tools they're developing. Is or can your organization be looking to use Teams in that way? If not, they can start with the SharePoint applications and certainly use them to great effect. There's no slight on those, but the Teams adds another layer that of possibilities, and it could be something that you segue into. You start with the SharePoint application and move on. I think some of this will become clearer as we go through the application. So what I want to show you first is our Nitro Studio, if you haven't seen this before. For instance, here's, expand it. Here's a request management application, for example. Just a demo. Underneath this request management application is our Nitro Studio, request management, right? You can get to this by going to the administration of here you go to administration and you'll open up the Nitro Studio that runs underneath. Now that's not available to your everyday user. I mean, of course, this is for admins and people who are managing these applications. But here, Nitro Studio underlays is the foundation of the application. So you have I guess the ultimate foundation would be SharePoint and Office 365. It's a given. But our Nitro Studio has a layer of forms, workflows, reporting. Well, you can see here, forms, workflows, reports, portal, approval tools, branding, custom actions, email and text sync. That's bringing SMS texting as well as email in. People can send email. That's a part of our omnichannel support, where you can send an email in and it gets converted to a ticket, texting back and forth, with the notifications. Email manager, ID columns, linked items, list formatting, all these list capabilities. Print manager is a big one. So there's many capabilities in our Nitro Studio that give the power to build these applications and tweak them and customize them to what you need to be. And then for people in Office 365, we have these advanced features of AI services, bots, modern UI web parts, and the Teams integration. So SharePoint on-premises, they can use Nitro Studio perfectly fine, and it's a very good environment and one of the best ones for the on-premises purposes. There is no Power Platform on-premises, so this takes the place, and a lot of people are adapting it. But if you're in Office 365, Nitro Studio gives you the advantage of working with all these other capabilities, and this is, the Nitro Studio. You come in and I won't, we can go deep into any of these. Just I'm gonna give you a brief overview of what, just in case you're interested, of what a form designer looks like. Our form designer here looks like. This is a whole nother, kind of webinar in itself and delve into all the capabilities, and people have a lot of fun building, a lot of possibilities with these forms. Why that purple? I'm gonna change that off of purple to the regular default here. Anyways, there's a lot of tools here you can see in this whole powerful, very powerful forms designer tool going on here. And it's something I'm just not going to go into right now. I'll just show you, it has a little bit here. Forms, it's got your preview of the form, and I don't know, it's just so many capabilities. We just can build all kinds of interesting forms here. So that's a little teaser on that. I won't go into more into that. We also have in here in the studio, I'm just going to cancel and get out of this. Cancel. Yeah, get out of that. Trying to get out of that. And then go over to the custom actions and show you just, kind of a little gee whiz, isn't that cool kind of thing here, where we can go in and see, how things can be done in our Nitro Studio. We have that powerful form designer. We have this custom, where you can drag and drop things to make workflows happen here. All these different capabilities can just easily be dragged right into the workflow and put in. You can put in gateways that give you decision points that then branch off into other areas like that. Again, not something I'm going to go deep into in here, but just to show you that it's possible. With that, so these are some of the things that underlie each of these little blue, I don't know if really rounded squares here. Is a lot of power in each one of them, and that's really what gives the power to Nitro Studio and to our applications, and really amplifies the whole Office 365 and SharePoint environment to be much more than you get out of the box with it. If it doesn't even come out of a box, how about out of the cloud? Can't use the word out of the box so much with software anymore, can you? It's out of the cloud. And we have a lot of resources and support that helps with it. Okay, that's to give you a brief view of that. But really what we're talking about today are the bots. So let's go into the bots. Bots are interactive interfaces. And, rather than go on with these slides, I'm going to go right over to showing you the stuff that goes on in the bots, because I think it's a lot more interesting. There's a lot of information about bots that I could share, and I've done a whole bots webinars. We've written articles about it, and economic argument for bots, why bots are good for, good to get involved in, how they can be really provide a lot of advantages to your organization. But okay, let's bring up a user here. Name of Pavan PK. He's in the bot in Teams. Now we're in Teams. Yeah, 15 minutes into it and we got into Teams finally, right? But here we are. So here's Teams. This is running in a web browser. You could run it on your desktop. Most of us do that. You could run it also in on your mobile phone, and that's also very possible. So any of these functionalities are available in the different devices. As Teams, as you can see, has the sidebar. There's some technical term for it, which I haven't quite. Left sidebar, app bar. Man, they call it the app bar. Anyway, whatever it is, you have your chat, your Teams, your everything. Then you can pin other things here. We've pinned the Nitro Bot here to show what it can do. So what we can do here is run the Nitro Bot. Now the Nitro Bot is part of the Nitro Studio configuration, and you can set up any set of commands. The commands are set up in Nitro Studio. You can see all these different commands here, and these can do different things and whatever you want them to do. Here's the submit an IT ticket, create task. And by that, I mean, if you're in Nitro Studio, and this is in the IT help desk world right here, if you go to bots, go to bots, you come up with this screen, and then you're able to click this, and it gives you your bot configuration. Very easy to get to. And then you can set up your commands right here, and you have all these different kinds of commands you can use. So what it's saying is when the user, who doesn't know anything about this behind the scenes, clicks the words submit IT ticket or whatever, one of these commands, it's going to do these different things, such as this one, submit IT ticket, will invoke a workflow in the IT help desk site and then run that workflow. And that workflow is a Nitro workflow that is configured in a Nitro workflow. So the two things tie together very, very well, the bots and the workflows. And there's a number of other things you can do here too. View lists, aggregate lists, search lists, a lot of search, FAQ, launch URL. So the bot commands can be very powerful as to what they do here and the different things they do. So let's go through one. So a set of scenarios with the bot, and you'll see how it can be used in different ways. Again, the bot commands that you're showing here are determined by you. And in fact, I wanted to show one other thing here before I got out of that. Sorry, meant to show this is that what is listed here can be determined by when you edit, say, one of these commands. You can say, well, a few things we should go over. Of course, you have the name. You have a keywords that you can submit, you can type in that will cause that action to happen. And then who's going to see it, by which AD groups can see this. It doesn't have to show that command to everybody. And you also determine whether you want to show it in a channel or not here. One of the channels, the bot can appear in a channel also. Interesting, huh? So let's go back to the bot and do submit ticket. Now I could click this, or I could just type in new ticket, or any of those keywords that I have there, right? And it'll come up with the ticket form. Here's a new ticket. We suggest that you check the KB first, whatever text you want there. That's configured. When I did the submit ticket, here it is, right? This is the command. I could use any of these keywords. You could put anything else, like help me, you could put help me in here, help me. And that becomes a keyword people can put in, or just help or something. Huh? So there it is, whatever keywords you want. So the user doesn't have to click the command, no, they can just type in that. And then it opens up, and then it opens up this new ticket adaptive card workflow. Remember that? If we go over to the workflows, and we have we're in the, we got to be in the IT help desk site, IT professional right here. No, wrong one. I got to be in the other one. What it's going to do is, I'm showing you a little of the back end. I don't know if people are technical on this call because I'm not really talking to you directly, but if this is, hope your eyes aren't glazing over a little here on this. But maybe I should just go right to the bot here. I'm just trying to say that all this stuff is highly configurable. That's my point here. This is a highly configurable situation. That this is, you can use it out of the box or not. But anyway, what fields you want to ask for the person are determined by you if you're designing this and how the workflow is run here. So this is actually in the IT professional like that there. So there's a new ticket adaptive card, right? That's what we had here, the workflow. So in other words, the submit IT ticket runs the new ticket adaptive workflow over here. And that's what causes this card to be displayed. And the fields that are on this card are determined by that workflow. And also the text up here, all that's determined by the workflow. So if we look at the workflow here, new ticket adaptive card in our Nitro workflows, you're going to see that it is telling the bot what to do behind the scenes here. The bot is going to run this workflow over here, this action called post an adaptive card. In our Nitro workflows, there are a number of actions involving teams here. There is create a teams channel, create a teams channel, send mail to the channel, and post an adaptive card. Post an adaptive card is far and away the most powerful one of them. And here's an example of what you can do when you post this card to teams. So you're in the bot and teams and Nitro workflows are all working together seamlessly to make all this happen. And don't worry about the details. Once you get familiar with this, it gets very, very easy to use. But basically what we're saying here is that you're doing this, you're putting up this card. You're telling the bot to run this workflow, which puts this card in, and I can very easily come in here and change what's shown on that card by changing what's here listed. It says title, description, requester, priority. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. Title, description, requester, and priority. And back in the workflow, you can see that some of the fields are filled in already with defaults, the user's email and things like that, and drop lists and things. So we're going back to the bot here. And this is now that we know this is highly configurable with these workflow tools, even though we might not remember everything I just said about the details of it, but just to give you a sense of like, here, let's look under the hood briefly and see that there's a very powerful engine. So if I type in something here, see, printer is low on toner, and printer number 25 needs new cartridge or something like that. I don't know, cartridge. I wish I could type. There we go. And the requester is Pavan. We know who it is because that's who logged in. And priority is high all the time now. Let's make it normal, and then submit it. And the ticket comes in that way, right? Created successfully. It shows up in our IT help desk in the back end. Now, this is what I mean. We're working in the bot, but here on the back end help desk, there's a new ticket appears. So the core of the application is there inside of SharePoint right here. See, it's the one I just created. Printer is low on toner. Just showed up right here. Pavan at 11:26. So this is the ticket I just created. The core functionality of the program is happening here. If admins want to go in here, technicians want to go in here, they can and work on it. So it depends how much your balance between Teams and SharePoint. But for the end user, they just put in a ticket right here. A new ticket is created successfully. They can view their open tickets, view my open IT tickets. They can go there and look at it. And again, what commands are available is dependent on what group they're in and all that. See, printer is low just showed up here, and you can look at it and see that goes on, right? And could add a note to it or close it or open it up in the browser. Again, these are adaptive cards being posted by our Nitro workflows and put in an information that you decide you want in there to show on the card to the user. But from the user's perspective, all they're doing is seeing, I'm in Teams, I submitted a ticket, I opened it up and looked at the ticket, oh, it's great. Now we have another guy over here, James. Where's James? James is over here. Now I have to use a separate browser because it's a different person, different login, of course, right? So James is over here and he's looking around, you know, let's say he's an IT tech person and he wants to look at all the open tickets going on right now, right? So he goes in here and he goes view all unassigned tickets. And he sees the list of unassigned tickets right here. Printer's low on toner. He can click it. And what happens here is going to come up with that card. It's going to come up with that card. Come on, bot. Okay, I think I know what went on there, but it comes up with the card, and he can click whether to pick it up for himself or assign it to someone else, and then he becomes assigned to that card. Okay, he becomes an assigned person. Now on the back end, in the all tickets here, the activity, you know, the workflows and everything are running here, but all the interactions going on inside of Teams. James, you know, if the card showed up, would have picked it up. I know why it's not showing up. It's something that I can fix quite easily. It's under the all assigned tickets, printers. Anyway, don't worry about that. So it comes up and it'd be assigned to him, and it would then be taken care of all inside of Teams right then and there. So that's just one example, but other activity can take place also. So say we want to do this instead. We want them to search the KB article before they submit a new ticket in. So one idea that we were working on that was kind of fun was that to take the word new ticket out of here, take new ticket out of this command and put it into the search KB command. And then when you have here, when someone says new ticket, it will give them the choice to search the KB. Now they could just go directly to the KB and search, but you know, with users, you never know what path they're going to take. So it's a very adjustable system here we have here, according to what you do. Now it said new ticket says, please enter search text. Oh, printer is low on toner, right? Same idea. And now what it's going to do, instead of creating a ticket immediately, it's going to give the person some KB articles, if there are any related to toner. I don't know, printer's not working right here. And then the person would be able to read this article first hopefully, and then maybe say the problem's resolved, or enter more details, or show related articles, and then, or go ahead and submit a ticket that way. And when they submit the ticket, it's now already submitted, and it shows up over here under the all tickets here in our system here. That's good. Come on, load. And there it goes. Printer is low. The second one, here, and it's already got the category and issue type in place there and everything else. So, either way that you want the user to do, it's a very flexible system to work how you want. Of course, it depends on having a good knowledge-based article system and that. But simply by changing new ticket to go there, we're able to redirect the user to where you want to go. Maybe they want to search KB articles before they submit a ticket. So there's many ways you can configure this system, highly flexible and really cool stuff with this. It's a lot of fun. It really gives you a different kind of paradigm of how users engage with the application. My point is that the teams opens up this world of possibilities while also keeping the core functionality there of the application inside of SharePoint. Now, if you had other connectors to Salesforce or ServiceNow, they're all functioning out there in their systems, wherever ServiceNow lives or Salesforce lives. But in terms of Crow Canyon's Office 365 applications and our Nitro Studio applications, they are running in the SharePoint and Office 365, and here they are right here running with all the capabilities and functions and possibilities to do administration and work on it, but also giving this Teams interface for people to interact with it. Okay, so let's do something else. Let's do a new purchase. There we go. So new purchase. Again, I could go back into under the covers and tell you and show you that this card can be completely modified how you want to put other fields in that you want in here, and it's back-ended to a back-ended, just like the IT help desk one is to help desk. This one's to the purchase request system right here. So whether you're in SharePoint or Teams, you're seeing the same information. So let's go enter in one here. He needs a new office chair. I guess that's hardware. I'd call it equipment. An option normal. I think I would have that default to normal. Department is, I guess, IT. Old one wore out. Okay, and quantity just needs one. So the person submits it and created successfully. It's there. Now the system of purchase request says an office chair. It has a price on the office chair below $1,000, $400 or something. And so it doesn't require any approvals, right? So nobody gets approved. It becomes, no one has to go to approval process. It's here in our system here, the new office chair, ready to go. Approval not required. It's only $150. Sorry, $150. So there it is, pulling from a catalog of items, putting it in, and from the person's perspective here, they just went in and made a purchase request in Teams. They don't know anything about the back end. They're just working at it through here, and they can even look at their open purchase request and see what the status is, just like office chair. Just put it in, and here they are functioning. And again, remember, this can be done on the mobile device or desktop or tablet or anything. So they are going to James, those cards, that's due to that expiration thing that we put in recently, remember? That's why these cards aren't showing up, but they would. Oh, damn, gotta go.
Is that why? Okay. All right.
Yeah, remember that the developers just did. So if you have time, you can all you gotta do is check the no button instead of the yes button on the expiration, and it'll show up.
Okay, I'll go fix that.
Yeah, if you can for the purchase, it's like a 2-second thing. So any guys ever do demos, you always say dev team hands off until the demo's over. I tested all this stuff last night, but they did something. Anyway, so we're back to the, we'll get that fixed, hopefully by the end of the webinar. So now the person is back here and he wants to put in something else. He's doing another new purchase. And this time he's going to order a larger amount, over $1,000 that requires approval. So let's say new PCs, new PCs, right? So here, hardware, it's going to be normal. It's going to be Dell Vostros or something in the finance department. you know, Colonel Mustard with the rope in the library. It sounds like to me. I don't. And two new employees. So here we go. Two, right? Two, and submit. It gets to be kind of fun to do. I mean, I don't know, from my perspective, it's kind of interesting. So he just put this request in here to do that. And then over here in James is the manager of Pavon. Little did we know, but he is. And James, this should require an approval, if I got it right. It should be an approval. Let me refresh the screen over here. Yeah, new PCs are right there. Yep. Okay. Here, so I'm yupping, but here it is right here. 2 new PCs pending approval, right? And James should have got the error, not the error, the approval method should have came up here. And that would have shown it here. Okay, purchase request. He would get something that the card that approves. That we gotta get that going, James, because that's ridiculous that expiration has caused this not to show all the cool stuff the way I wanted to during this webinar. It can just easily trace it down. You know, here we go. Submit purchase request, right? It's in the workflows of the purchase system right here. Okay. Okay, I'll let James fix it. What I'm going to do now is also show you that another one called new project. We'll get that other going. Create new project. So you go here and create a new project. So you see, we're covering purchasing, we're covering IT help desk, and now we're covering purchasing. I mean, project management. So you go to create a new project, and it's going to open up the project tracker inside of the backend application. You launched it from the system right here to create a new project. Okay. So in the bot has launched the project form in the back end here. And it's going to open up the new project. The project name is migrate to Office 365. All right. No idea why that just came up. Everything went crazy. Okay, migrate to Office 365. Bad fingering stuff here, I guess. More client, all this stuff you can put in about the budget. Maybe assign it to James as the project manager when it starts. All that doesn't really matter, but the point is that you're creating a new project here by clicking new project. So we create the project in here, and we did it by launching it from the bot right here. Okay, so if you look at the bot. Again, the commands under projects, we'll see that there is you view my active projects right here. You can look at his active projects. There they are. Migrate to Office 365. And you can also come in here and create tasks. So maybe for migrate to Office 365, he wants to create tasks. For it. So you go here and create a task under project management, create a task. So again, it's going to come up with the card, and it's just showing all this functionality can be done inside of bots without having to do anything with the backend team. So, so a new project task is plan migration, I guess. I don't know, something. And but it's for this one called migrate to Office 365, and we're going to assign it to Pavon. Okay. And description, get ready. I don't know. Get ready. Okay? Get ready for action. So submit it. It's been submitted. The task is now part of that project over here under the projects. My projects and tasks, plan migration. here's the task right here. That's part of this project called Migrate to Office 365. And now you have related items. There's a task that was created and assigned to Pavan for all done within there, within the Office 365, within the Microsoft Teams. See, so we're using Teams quite effectively there to do that. Now the thing is, we also there's more to it than that. So if I'm back in Teams and we go to here, what it also did is created a channel in Teams for this project, Migrate to Office 365. So by going to the bot and doing new project, we created a new project that sits in the backend SharePoint application, but we're able to view the project, we're able to create tasks for the project, and we also now have a channel available for the project if we want. And this is all done with the Nitro workflows, which create channels, post messages in channels. The Nitro workflows also post these cards so that people are kept in communication about the different activities going on. So this is the way to use Teams much more effectively and aggressively than just doing chat. All of us tend to do a lot of chat, but this is adding this bot to the Teams has given it a lot of power and possibility. Now we looked at purchasing, a little bit at IT, at projects. There's also like leave requests is a common one too. So if Pavan wants to take a leave here, leave request. The whole point of this is start to think about the applications differently than and how users engage with them than from the standard form kind of SharePoint backend. So here's a leave request form. Again, he's going to fill it out. Leave, I'll say Thanksgiving week off, earn leave, start date. Well, he's probably got the 25th and 26th. He's probably got those days off. The Wednesday and Thursday. He only needs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. Family trip, I don't know. And submits it for leave, submits a leave request right there. So it's been submitted. And then a person can look at his open request, see if it's been approved or not. James should get a message in James's right here. Is that here it is, leave request approval. Pavan just asked for it. Okay. Because I tend to move a little quick, sometimes people tell me, let me go back and explain what would happen. And once again, Pavan, PK over here in this browser of Edge, had created this leave request for Thanksgiving week off. James over here in the Chrome browser, JR, as his manager, gets a message saying, Pavan has asked for this leave off, Thanksgiving week off for the family trip. It's exactly what I just typed. Now, this can also be looked at in the browser. There's other ways to look at it, but this could be in the browser, in the back end, in the request management system. You would see this request in there. If you wanted to go in there and look at there, you would see it right there. Bring it over. There we go. Bring it over. So all this is happening, seamlessly across all these different ways. He just asked for this, right? Thanksgiving week off. Pavan, get out of the way, Pavan. We're back to James over here, and James can approve or deny it. And toss a coin. Approve or deny? Well, let's approve it because it's next week, right? Have fun. Have fun. Don't be a turkey. Inject a little humor there, right? That's a demo. So here we go. It's approved. The request is approved, and then it's recorded in the system as approved. And Pavan gets a notice. Now he can be notified in Teams. He can be notified by SMS text. He can be notified by email that his approval happened right here, and he's able to know that his approval's okay to go at that point. He's good to go at that point for the leave request. Not only that, what do you think? What do you think else happened? Probably nobody can guess it, but it just got approved over here. It got
Oh, seems like we might have lost him for a minute there. So yeah, he was going through the leave request approval process. I don't know if he can hear us.
Off
Oh,
approval.
there he is.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, sorry, you cut out for a good part of time there.
I did?
Yeah.
Like how long?
Like about 20 seconds.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I was saying that it's, it's a full moon. It's a full moon, isn't it, right now today?
Yeah, I think it is. Everything's acting a little funky. Is there some
Yeah.
solar storm or something? No, I don't know.
Anyway, I hope the point's getting across that Teams is a very powerful tool if used correctly, and that our Nitro workflows and our Nitro bots and our SharePoint applications work together seamlessly to provide you this credible capability to go beyond just simple forms into a more powerful way of engaging with users, and that you have an incredible amount of flexibility and possibilities if you move in this direction to use these bots, to use the channels, to use all the other tools to do this. And it really works out quite well. I mean, even in these portals, even in these channels, you can have a portal embedded right in there. This is our HR portal, one of our HR portals coming up right here. And this is you're in Teams, but it's in a browser. You can open up a leave request right here if you want. So it's different ways. There's many ways to slice an onion, right? Or yeah, that's a good expression. Many ways to slice an onion here, and one of them is to use the portal. One of them is to use the backend SharePoint. One of them is to use the bot. And the point is to move away from the, here we're back in the form world, I guess, but to get the communications going back and forth. Good. Am I still on there, James, or am I talking?
Yep. No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Any questions, by the way, while we're before we get too far along?
Not too many. I think it's been moving along pretty good. I think you got a good clip, good information so far.
Thank you. All right. So we'll review this a little bit more. Is the fact that there are the Nitro bots, which are part of Nitro Studio. They're, in addition to the base cost of Nitro Studio, and they run however you want to configure them using our bot services right here. You can add any kind of command you want and adjust these and make them available to different people and to do different things, such as what group. You can have them show up in the bot. You can also have them show up in the channel. If you want to go here and work inside a channel, doing the bot stuff, doing the bot thing, the bot dance. You go to IT. Okay. Let me show you this in case you didn't know. Just pay it. If you're into Teams administration, it's pretty cool. So here's the bot, and you want to click the bot, and then you have the opportunity to add it to a team, add it to a chat, or add it to a meeting. So this is the way you can get it to add it to a team. Team being, for instance, the one we added to already was the general support team general channel. So it's already there. I don't have to add it again. So going back to that exact channel, support general, the bot is there. So we start a new conversation. We say, hi, bot. Hi, bot. How are you today? No, we got to start a whole new conversation. We got to do at Nitro Bot. There you go. And then commands appear there. And, what commands appear here depend on what you allowed to show in the channel. So let's go back here and take a look at this and look at, again, this command right here that says show in channel. It's got to be checked, right? To show in the channel. So you can really regulate this quite well, what shows up where in the different channels, to whom and to who, what groups. But in this case, we have these ones showing up here. The person might want to look at do search KB articles right here. So anyways, I'm trying to say that it shows up right here in the channel. If you're doing a support channel, you get it right here. You can do search KB articles right there. And look for a KB article on printer or whatever you want to call it. Please enter search text, and it's going to give you a list of articles right here in the Oh, that's right. I gotta do at Nitro Bot. At Nitro Bot printer. You gotta tell who you're talking to there. And it would come back with the knowledge base articles, just like it did before. It's the knowledge base article. So you're kind of talking to it in a channel, you're talking to the bot too. Now, the usefulness of this is we're debating internally, because when you have a lot of people in the channel, they kind of trip over each other. But I can see in an IT support scenario where people, the technicians are looking to, hey, what tickets are open, and they're doing a group discussion at the same time. You know, it's just cool that it shows up in the channel. It can be utilized, you know, do a search, find articles, and documents and everything else that can be done inside this channel. Now, inside you can have all these other tabs. Microsoft is all channel. So one of the things about is adding these tabs. You can have files for the support group, you know, wiki page, different. Here's a site. You know, you can do if you want to use the channel. In fact, if anyone's using channels like this, it'd be interesting to find out more about how you're using them and how we could help enhance that. But here's like the IT help desk portal. Now this is not that different than the backend SharePoint. It's basically the backend SharePoint stuff here in Teams.
Right. I think
Put a
you're.
calendar
I'm
in.
not sure. I'm not sure if others are experiencing this, but
Portals.
it's breaking up, and I'm not seeing the movement of the screen. You still there, Scott?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I'm here. Yeah,
we're not
well,
seeing the movement of the screen
you know,
to
the
the.
thing is,
God.
okay. Well, Comcast. I think that's all I have to say. Comcast. I don't think I have to say
So,
anything more. If anyone ever used Comcast, that's all I have to say is Comcast, like that. You know, kind of little derisive tone, Comcast, right? Like that.
yep. Yep. Seems to
What
be
do you
the
think,
case.
James? James, what do you think about bots?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the point we're trying to make here is that you can embed, you know, embed these sites into teams, onto channels, onto conversations, and you really interact with it as teams, as your front end of the application. Now we're seeing it on the screen now with the, you know, self-service portal there, the, you know, portal site for people to interact with. They can see their tickets, and they don't have to leave the context of Teams, because just go right into a channel and see it. So yeah, so the point being made earlier was that, you know, you could run a support channel through Teams, through Teams channel. So it could be a little tricky with people tripping over each other, but that's, you know, kind of you know, end user education, I guess you could say. But ultimately, a lot of what you can do here, it can be done, you know, in the SharePoint page, can be done in Teams itself. So that's kind of what we're showing here. Is you got the new ticket. This is all within the Teams, you know, interface that we're doing this. So, you know, not only do you have the bot, which is a great way to interact with any backend system or a SharePoint site, you got the web pages that you can directly pull up and have people go directly into, you know, the things that they need to see. Yeah, looks
That's
like we're
right.
seeing it now.
Yeah. No, I just noticed that looking at the internet meter here that it is on a kind of a backup system. So sorry about. I mean, I can't control that. I don't know when I wish Comcast would tell me when they're going to have problems, right? Wouldn't that be great? You know. But I think hopefully we're getting the message across here. And my point is, this is exciting and interesting. You know, if you're interested in this webinar and what we're showing, let's talk and find out how we can help with your situation there of replacing InfoPath. I really think just going forms to forms is like, okay, you have to do it in order to get off of InfoPath or whatever into the new solution. But if you have opportunity to bring teams into the mix more and the bots, we'll work right with you hand in hand. You know, and I was going to show this also about the bot dashboard being the analytics. You know what I mean, James, right? About how
Yeah.
we continue a cycle of improvement with the bots by analyzing the applications and getting this data, the telemetry, as we call it, of the bot. You know, getting more sophisticated. With the bots are just not sitting there; they're also being recorded in terms of, you know, what kind of questions are not being answered. So therefore, you can make your knowledge base that better. This telemetry by, you know, looking at it, and we can help you with that with bot configuration services and analytic services too. So we're really the go-to people for this kind of bot stuff in terms of whether it's purchasing, IT help desk, project management, HR, whatever you're doing, to make it all work in teams with applications on the back end. How's that for a summary, James?
It pretty much encapsulates it pretty nicely. Yeah, that's what we're all about. It's about business process automation and about, bringing, we talked about InfoPath, bringing your forms into the modern, the modern world with not just in SharePoint, but also, even extending that into Teams, which is where Microsoft's going. So if you're using Teams, this is a great, we're moving right along, rowing the same boat with Microsoft and the push towards Teams and cloud and all that. So we're right there with them.
Yeah, and the Nitro Studio has so many capabilities. Only touched on the forms and workflow and the visual designer and all that. I mean, that was all in the reporting. I mean, there's so much more here. And people, I mean, it sounds corny, but it's true. It's actually true. People all over the world are using Nitro Studio to improve their business process. But it never sound like advertising, but it's actually true, isn't it, James? People all over the world are using Nitro Studio. All over the world. We got Australia, over in Dubai, UK, but a lot in US and Canada, of course. All over the place. So I don't know. I think I kind of end the webinar there because it's almost top of the hour anyway. And Comcast has been, not the best internet provider at the moment, but that's their nature. That's Comcast for you. And rather than go more glitches, but hey, we're here. James over in Rhode Island, I'm over in California. We're ready to talk to you, find out more. This is what we're interested in, what we do. We used to see people at the trade shows all the time, the SP Fest and whatnot. And that, of course, with COVID hasn't been happening. So we're meeting everybody virtually these days. But anytime you want to talk about this stuff, it's not the hard sell. It's just, this is cool stuff. We're into the technology and we want to make it better. So any feedback and engagement and conversations we could have, we have a great community. James gives workshops regularly on night. You did one yesterday, as a matter of fact, didn't you? Right?
Yep,
Nitro Studio workshop. Yeah. So, live people ready to help you out. Let's talk. So anything else, James? You think we're good?
I think we're good. We did have a couple questions come in about pricing, so I think we'll follow up with those individuals offline and get some more information so we can get them some details.
Yeah, sorry for a little funkiness of it, but that.
Yep, there he goes again.
The internet connection kind of is out of my control, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You guys have a good day, and thank you for joining. Really appreciate you attending the webinar. Okay. Thanks, James. Thanks for your help. Okay. Bye.
Yep. Sure. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.